We just recently had a baby, and there's a lot going on in our house. So I'm actually in our baby's nursery, and if you can't tell the gender yet, I want to catch you up on a story of something that happened this past fall. I run my life, and especially my ministry, from one of these flash drive. It's got all my ministry files on it, passwords, financial information, taxes, the whole works. And at one point this fall, God brought it to mind, what would happen if I lost all of that? Not necessarily from a logistical standpoint, but he was just highlighting in my heart, like, would I still be thankful to him, glorify him, believe that he's got everything under control if I lost this thing that was so critically important to me. Now, back in November, I went for a walk with one of my friends, and we were walking around this neighborhood in South Minneapolis, and after that, I was going on an outreach at the Mall of America, but I didn't know if I would have a bunch of time to kill, I'd be able to do office work, so I brought my computer, put my flash drive in my pocket, and we went for our walk. Afterwards, I went down to the mall, ended up doing some outreach right away. At one point, we went up to an area where there were some benches, and I took the opportunity to check my pocket, see if my flash drive was there. I was going to use the chance to move my flash drive from my pocket to my backpack, have that as an opportunity to start a conversation with someone in that sitting area. Well, I went into my pocket, and I discovered the flash drive wasn't there. And I searched all over myself. We ended up retracing my steps all the way back to where I entered the mall. I looked at this bench where I'd been sitting for a while, it wasn't there. Walked all the way back to my car, it wasn't there. After the outreach, I went back to the neighborhood we had walked in. It wasn't there. The next morning, I revisited that neighborhood. It still wasn't there. I could not find the thing. And all of a sudden, I'm in this position in my heart where God had kind of warned me a few days earlier what would happen if I lost this thing. And I had to trust in him that whatever was going to become of the situation was good and he was still in control. Now, this whole thing ended up being a God thing after all. When we stopped at that seating area in the mall, we ended up talking to a woman who was actually pretty open to the gospel, but also was doing outreach at the same homeless encampment that my teammate was at. And so there was a good chance they'd be able to follow up with her and encounter her while they were doing ministry. We went back to that bench that I had mentioned where I had been sitting for a while, and as we were looking around there was actually a woman there who spoke Spanish. I was able to offer her a Bible in Spanish, and I was able to share with her my favorite Bible verse, and she shared with me hers, and it was really a neat encounter. When I went back the next morning to that neighborhood to look for the flash drive, I stopped by this gas station that I don't normally go to. And as I pulled up, there was a girl who asked me if I could help her out with some money for gas. Now, I don't normally give cash to people, but I asked if I could buy her some gas. She had a gas can there. I paid for that. I bought her a gift card for the place, got to pray for her. She had just recently been evicted. She's living out of her car now. I gave her some information on places she could get food. It was totally an encounter from the Lord. And I realized after all this stuff, first of all, I never ended up finding the flash drive, but it was just as God orchestrated so that all these people could have encounters with Jesus. That's where I thought the story had ended. Now, just a couple days ago, my wife and I got this letter in the mail. It was from someone that we didn't know, and we're like, who's this sending us what looked like actually a Christmas card? And this woman wrote to us and said that she was on a walk in her neighborhood in Minneapolis and spotted this flash drive in the snowbank. She opened it up, realized it was mine, and reached out to us by mail. Now, I had lost that flash drive on November 9th. It is January 11th now. We've had multiple rainstorms, snowstorms. The temperature has been way up, and it's also been below freezing. There's no reason I should have expected this flash drive to survive. But this is just the icing on the cake for a whole story that God has woven together. Not only was he using my losing of the flash drive to reach these people for Christ, but he's used this whole thing and made me whole again with it, which he didn't need to do. I didn't deserve it, but he is just being so over the top awesome with this thing just to prove how amazing our God is.